Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about flexibility and balance training, a very critical part of an overall well-balanced exercise program. So flexibility or stretch training helps to release tight muscles, can help your body stay limber, improve posture, enhance range of motion, reduce stress, and relax the mind. So many great benefits of stretching. Being flexible gives you more freedom of movement around the joints, helps you do other exercises, and actually helps to increase strength as well, and for just basic everyday activities. So let's go over some American College of Sports Medicine recommendations for flexibility and balance training. First of all, you want to work on flexibility 2 to 3 days per week. Anytime you are doing a resistance training session, or really after any workout, you want to do a quick stretch. Position your body until you feel the point of light stretching or mild discomfort and hold for 10 to 30 seconds and repeat 2 to 4 times. That's one style of stretching. We're going to go through a few different ones today. And it's always best and safest to stretch the muscles when the body is warm. So we're going to talk about which ones are best, what kind of stretches are great for warm-ups, and which kind of stretches are best for after a workout. And it's really easy to stretch at your desk, on your floor, standing or sitting in a chair. And then different activities, my favorites include like restorative yoga, yin or hatha style yoga classes are also a really great way to train for flexibility. So let's talk about different types of flexibility training. Well, the first one is static stretching. This is where you stretch to an end point and you hold for at least 30 seconds. This style of stretching is best done right after a workout to help lengthen into the muscles. Now that stretch she's doing there in the picture is stretching out the forearms. That's a really important stretch, and that's a stretch that really should be done after really as much as you can, because whenever we're holding on to weights or other things that we're holding on to, the forearms get really short and they get really tight and can cause problems in the joints. So that's a really nice stretch to do. So straightening the arm and just drawing the fingers back. Dynamic stretching is basically movement through the range of motion around the joint. Essentially, dynamic stretching is used to mimic a movement that's about to be performed, and it's a great way to warm up into an exercise that's about to be performed. Active stretching means basically involving the muscle actively. So you're going to hold the stretched position with the opposing muscle group, and you're only going to hold it for a couple of seconds at a time. Release and repeat for several repetitions. Ballistic stretching, this is used for athletic drills and really isn't recommended unless you are doing it for a specific reason, but it utilizes repeated bouncing movement to stretch the targeted muscle group. And so the reason why it's not really recommended is that when you bounce into a stretch like that, or you kind of bounce into a movement, the stretch receptors in the muscles kind of start to shorten and freak out a little bit. So sometimes it can cause some injury. Myofascial release, this is one thing I absolutely love, using a foam roller or something similar to release tension. It also helps to improve flexibility in the deep tissue and underlying muscles. So back and forth movements are performed over an area about 2 to 6 inches for about 30 to 60 seconds. And this can be extremely uncomfortable when you're not used to it. However, it is a great way to release. So if you are not able to go for deep tissue massage on a regular basis, myofascial release is definitely where it's at. So if you don't have a roller, so a roller like the one you see in the picture there is great. You'll notice it's got some divots in there. It can be a little bit more intense, but you can also just get a basic foam roller as well. PNF stretching, or proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation stretching, that's a big mouthful. This uses the receptors in the muscles to improve the nerves and muscles response in the body. So basically what you're doing is contracting a muscle and then relaxing, or contract, hold, and relax. And it's usually performed with a partner, but you can do it on your own with a towel for resistance. So if you look in that picture, basically what they're actually doing is stretching out the hamstring. So what she would do is she would actually, one style of this kind of training is push against resistance. So the guy holding her would push against her, and then you would release and let the hamstring relax, and it'll actually help lengthen into the hamstring. Really great way to stretch, much easier to do with a partner. So some of the basic things to remember that with stretching is that Focus on static stretching after you work out as an opportunity to lengthen the muscles, kind of cool down, and that lengthening and holding actually helps release toxins in the muscle tissue as well. Use dynamic stretching in your warm-up. Don't hold your breath when you're stretching. You always want to make sure you're breathing through it. And stretching should never be painful. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it should never be painful. So let's move on to balance training now. Balance training helps us prevent falls, which is a really common problem in older adults. And that's why it's really important for us to be doing balance training as much as possible. Many lower body strength exercises will also help improve your balance as well. So let's talk a little about just a couple of quick American College of Sports Medicine recommendations. There's actually not that many. Simply, basically, with balance training is ideally do it daily, and the time that you hold may vary. Okay, it really does depend. Now, there's some different types of balance training, and that's where your timing of it will vary. So first one, really, there's only two types of balance training. First is static, which is no movement. So you're finding a balance and then holding. And then next would be dynamic or with movement. So that would be where you're, let's say, standing on one leg and then moving your leg up to the center and out to the side. It really focuses on throwing your center of gravity off a little bit. Now, I love this quote, and it says, "A flexible body and a flexible mind will keep you stable and strong." So really focus on that importance of flexibility training. Now, your challenge, start stretching and balance training. Pretty simple. Do this before and after your workouts as much as you possibly can. Maybe use it in place of a workout if it's an active rest day. And as always, post in the Facebook group and tag someone. Let's support each other, and we will see you next time.